Christmas morning for NASCAR fans. Welcome into another edition of Auto Bets brought to you by Better and Green. Daytona 500 is here, guys. The NASCAR season getting ready to begin for 2026. Going to try to get videos out for really as many races as I can this year. Really excited for the 2026 season of NASCAR, and it's always tough to start with Daytona from a betting aspect. A very tough race to bet. So this episode is going to be a little bit different than what we typically do. We typically look for some outrights, some matchups, some top finish positions. Not with Daytona, and not with really any of the super speedways. Like I said, very difficult to bet. You're really sprinkling a few outrights here. I don't even look into matchups. I don't even look into top finishes at Daytona or any of the super speedways. Like I mentioned, it's just so random. Even if I could get, William Byron head to head with Riley Herbst, I wouldn't take it. Just so much can go on here. Byron could lead, a number of laps and then wreck out at the end. Herbst could finish 22nd, and it's just not really worth it to me. If you're laying really any short price here. So same thing with outrights. That's kind of just what we're going to go over. Some top guys, some mid guys, some lower tier guys that you could really get a nice payout for. But even the top guys here, I'm using ScoreBet to look at these odds. Joey Logano, Kyle Busch, Ryan Blaney, 10-1. Not interested. Not interested on Hamlin, 12-1. Elliott, 14-1. Larson, 16-1. No interest. I really need 20-1. William Byron, a back-to-back winner here at Daytona. I don't think he three-peats, so I'm not really interested anyway, but 16-1, no interest. You're really looking to get paid out. You're sprinkling. Honestly, I would take a unit, break it up with a tenth of a unit on 10 different drivers outright, and see if you can hit one. That's kind of the way I approach Daytona. Just have some fun with it. First race of the year, NASCAR's back. Great race day. But yeah, like I said, very hard to bet. So let's get into some of the guys that I am kind of looking at here. Before I do, though, I do just have to quick say, guys, if you have not subscribed to our channel, consider doing so. We cover all sports here at Better and Green. We're deep into college basketball right now. NBA, NHL, both on break, but we'll be covering those much more once they're back. We're getting into PGA, soccer, UFC, MMA, obviously NFL, college football in the offseason, but we cover those heavily as well. So if you've not subscribed, consider doing so. We'll be talking NASCAR, IndyCar, F1 here as well. So consider doing that. If you do like this video, please hit that like button for me, and then drop me a comment below. Let me know who your pick is and the odds to win Daytona 500. Would really love to hear who you guys are looking at. But yeah, let's start with one of the guys I'm looking at first, Chase Briscoe. Just jumps off the page. I actually got a piece of Briscoe, I think 30-1 or 35-1 a few weeks ago. He's sitting at 20-1, and shop around, see if you can get up to maybe 25. But I do like Briscoe here. Again, it's very difficult to predict. He could run in the top 10 the entire race, wreck out on the last lap, and finish 30th. But Briscoe, he sat on the pole last year. He's back on the front row this year. Had a very nice year last year in that 19 car, his first year in the 19, and I expect him to have just another really nice year. Think he's as live as anybody to go out and win this race. 20-1. I think that's a pretty good price there on Chase Briscoe. Again, hoping he doesn't wreck out. Hopefully he can get himself in position, within the top 10 on the final two laps, and kind of work his way to the front is really what we're hoping for here. But Briscoe, 20-1, that's a guy I've already locked in. That's kind of the guy I'm mostly eyeing here in this race. Another guy, Austin Cindric, 20-1. Wish it was a little bit longer. Again, shop around, see if you can find it longer. But he's a guy that's won this race. Teammates with Logano, with Blaney. Those guys are, way higher up there, 10-1 on both those guys. And, Cindric's won this race. He's on their team. He's going to be running with them. No reason that he should be 20-1 when those guys are 10-1. So I do think there's some value on Cindric. That's not somebody that I've taken a piece of yet. I might end up getting there, like I said, with a tenth of a unit is all I would play on that. But I do like Austin Cindric. I just think there's some value, with his teammates being 10-1. He's going to be right there with it. And again, he's won this race before. So Cindric at 20-1 is another guy I'm looking at. And then Ryan Preece, 25-1. We've seen Preece run really well here 2 years in a row, and he's ended up on his roof 2 years in a row. NASCAR has, really worked on keeping cars upright, and I don't think he's going to end up on his roof here. Just hope he can keep it clean. I do think he's going to run within the top 10 a lot of this race, and I think he's going to be in position to get the outright win. We just saw him win at Bowman Gray, his first unofficial, I guess, NASCAR win in the Cup Series, but I think that breeds confidence. I think that builds some momentum for him. We saw how emotional he was after winning that race, even though it didn't really mean anything. I think Priest, I think he's going to be probably he's going to be up there, I think, for the best driver of the RFK group this year, with Keselowski and Buescher. I really am kind of high on RFK this year, but I think Priest is kind of going to set the tone there. I think he could have a really nice race. 25-1. Again, feels a little bit short. I think I got Priest at 50-1 a few weeks ago, maybe 40-1, somewhere in that ballpark. So, again, shop around, see if you can get him a little bit higher, but I do like Ryan Preece as a sprinkle here. Other guys that I won't talk too much about in that price range, Chris Buescher, 25-1, although, he's been so close so many times and just struggles to really finish first, so that does give me a little bit of pause. Christopher Bell, 25-1 as well. I think he's worth a decent look. Next guy I'm going to go to is up in the 40-1 range. I like Austin Dillon. I like Eric Jones. Austin Dillon, a guy that's won this race. He's starting 7th. Looked really good in the duels. Looked good in practice and qualifying. Obviously, like I said, qualifying 7th. So Austin Dillon, he, kind of does his best work on super speedways like Daytona, and I think he could have himself a nice race. So 40-1, I think is worth a shot there. Eric Jones, we see him run really well at Daytona year after year, has not been able to cross the finish line first, but I do think it's just a matter of time for Eric Jones to finish and get himself a win at Daytona. So Eric Jones, 40-1. Again, I think I got on him at 50-1. I know I got on Austin Dillon at 50-1 earlier a few weeks back. But 40-1, I still think it's a great price. Eric Jones and Austin Dillon. In that same price range, kind of like McDowell, he's a guy that's won this race before, and he runs super well on super speedways. Ross Chastain, 40-1. Think that's a good price on a guy that knows how to win. Same thing, if he can get himself positioned near the front, you're not going to want him in your rear view, that's for sure, and you're definitely not going to want him in front of you. It's a very hard guy to pass. So, yeah, I do like Ross Chastain. And then a long shot that I'm kind of eyeing, guys, would be Ty Dillon at 100-1. We've seen Ty compete a little bit more in the last year. He as well looked pretty good in the duels on Thursday night, and at 100-1, his brother's 40-1, Austin, and I think Ty has shown that he can run just as well as Austin, sometimes better at these super speedways. Again, Austin's won here before, so that kind of discredits Ty. But I think Ty had a really nice year last year, and think he can build some momentum. Wouldn't shock me to see him come across the line top 10. And really, you're just looking for a guy with a shot to win. So Ty Dillon, 100-1 is kind of the last guy I'm looking at. Again, guys, that's how I would attack this race. Just lay a few outrights. Again, let me know in the comments who you're looking at. But yeah, I wouldn't play matchups. I wouldn't play top. If you're going to play top finishes, I would look at some of these guys at the end to finish top 10. If you can get like a really nice, like 5-1, 7-1, 8-1, like a Jimmy Johnson who finished 3rd here last year, like Riley Herbst, Ty Dillon, Casey Mears, some of these guys that are way in the back. If you can get like an 8-1 on a top 10, might be worth a shot there. But that's the only way I'd really even consider playing the top finishes. So that's how I do it, guys. But let me know in the comments who you think is going to win Daytona. I cannot wait for this race. We'll be back next week for more of a normal breakdown. We'll be touching on outrights and top 10s and matchups as well. So that'll be a little bit more of a normal episode here, but thanks for watching, guys. As always, good luck with Daytona today. Hope you hit an outright, or maybe if you're playing daily fantasy, hope you have some success there as well. But hope this helped, and hope you guys appreciated it. Thanks for watching, guys. Until next week at Echo Park, Atlanta, we'll see you for another episode of Auto Bets, brought to you by Better and Green.